What's up, Math 8? Thanks for tuning in with another episode of Math with Mullins. Today we're going to be looking at Lesson 2.1, Day 2, still solving one-step equations, but now we're going to focus on how to solve them using multiplication and division. And we'll even get to maybe one story problem at the very end. The first thing we want to understand are the two properties of equalities that we're going to talk about, and we discussed this in the previous video. If A were to equal to B, then A times C will be equal to B times C. Okay, you can also see it like this. AC is equal to BC. Means the same thing. The division property of equality is very similar, except we're just going to see the division piece working in. If A is equal to B, then A divided by C will be also equal to B divided by C. That just means if we multiply by the same number on the both of the sides of the equal sign, they'll still be the same factor, they'll still be equivalent to one another. And the same thing is true as if we divide by C. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at some equations where we are requiring either multiplying or dividing to solve them. This should be a review from last year in 7th grade, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is separate my equation sign with a left side and a right side. On the left side is where my x is, so that's the side I'm going to focus on first. Because x is being divided by 4, to solve this, I will be multiplying by 4. And because whatever that property of equality here, because I'm multiplying by 4 on the left side to make it equal, I will also multiply by 4 on the right side. Multiplying by 4 and dividing by 4 will actually cancel out. So all that's left is x, and then negative 2 times 4 is equal to negative 8. Again, remember you can check your work by plugging in whatever you got for x into the actual equation, and negative 8 divided by 4 does equal to negative 2, so I know I'm correct in that way. This next one, I'm going to again separate the left and the right side. Noticing on the left is where my x is, and that's being multiplied by pi. So what I need to do is divide both sides by pi. Okay, pi divided by pi will just cancel out to be 1. So 1x, which is just x, is equal to 3 pi divided by pi. Well, that just will be equal to 3, since those pi's will also cancel out. Again, to check my work, I can plug in wherever x was a 3. So I had pi times 3 is equal to 3 times pi, and that is also correct. Now's the time where you want to start pausing the video and trying these yourself. Go ahead and pause the video and click play when you're ready to check. So this first example here, I have a fraction that's being multiplied, and one way I can help the fraction be equal to 1 is I'm going to multiply it by its reciprocal, which is the same thing as dividing by a fraction. So I'm going to be multiplying by negative 4/3 on both sides. Okay. The negative 4/3 times negative 3/4 actually equals positive 12 over 12, which is equal to 1. So my left side is now equal to n. But over here, I'm going to have negative 2 over 1 times negative 4 over 3. Negative 2 times negative 4 is a positive 8 with a 3 on the bottom. So I can see my answer is 8/3, or for some of you who like mixed numbers, that would be 2 and 2/3. The next example, I have y divided by 4 is equal to negative 7. Again, because I see division with the variable y, I'm going to use multiplication to solve for it. I'm going to multiply by both sides with a 4. 4 divided by 4, it cancels out, so all that's left is y. Negative 7 times 4, though, is negative 28. Okay. Example 3, again, these got kind of flip-flopped around, so we're going to rewrite these, and then you can try them on your own. 6 pi is equal to pi times x for the first one, and 0.09 w is equal to 1.8 for the second one. Go ahead and take time now to pause the video here, and when you're ready to check it, go ahead and click play. So example number 1, our variable is here on the right side. So we're just flipping it around. That's okay. If you want to rewrite it where you have pi times x is equal to 6 pi, you can do that. But essentially what we're going to do is divide both sides by pi. Pi divided by pi is going to cancel out, so all that's left is x. And what's funny is that it'll also happen over here. Pi divided by pi, all that's left is 6. So 6 is equal to x. On my second example, I have 0.09 w is equal to 1.8. And again, I see multiplication, so I'm using division to solve. Dividing both sides by 0.09. 0.09 divided by itself is equal to 1, so all that's left is W. And on the right side, I'm just doing 1.8 divided by 0.09, and that is going to give me 20. Okay. Last but not least, we have a word problem here. Let's take time now to pause the video, check it out, try it on your own, and when you're ready to go on and see if your answer is correct, click play. All right, 1/4 of the girls and 1/8 of the boys in the class take a picture. The photographer retakes pictures for 16 girls and 7 boys. So how many students are in the class? To start off, 16 girls is represented 1/4. So if 16 girls is just one part of 4, that means I would need 4 parts to make up the entire class. So that would be 16 times 4, or 16 added together 4 times. There would be then 64 girls in the class. 1/8 of the boys is what we saw here. So 1/8 of the boys would just be 7 of them were boys. So that 1/8 just means it would need to be repeated 8 different times for the 7, because 1/8 is only 7 boys, and that 1/8 would need to be multiplied by 8 to get the grand total. So 7 times 8 would be 56. So if there are 56 boys and 64 girls, we add those together and we get 120 students. Okay, that will conclude our notes today on lesson 2.1, day 2, multiplying and dividing one-step equations. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.